In this video, I'm going to introduce you to Aquima Studio. I'm going to show you a demo application, which is a car insurance application, and introduce you to all the features within Aquima Studio. So I'm going to open up a car insurance demo application. First thing you can notice is that this application opens within a web browser, and so it's online capable. You can see the fact that it's got a similar look and feel to a Microsoft Office, so anyone who's used a Microsoft product before should be familiar with the ribbon on top and the layout. So you can see the ribbon is broken up into blocks with the domain, flows, interaction, logic, documents, connectivity. Before I show you those features, I'll just show you the fact that Aquima also has a module scope where you can actually have layers of modules to make things easier and reusable. So this insurance demo has a insurance base and car insurance 2.0, which is a specialization where information is inherited from insurance base 1. So now I'm going to go through the features. I'm going to start off with the domain. I'm going to do this by showing you an entity relation diagram. So as you can see on the page, you can see 3 different entities: person, driver, and parameter. If I show you the features or the attributes of person, you can see there's things like person bank account, person civil status, person date of birth. These are all features of person. Now if we look into driver, you can see that driver has its own information, things like driver age, driver car use, driver country, but it also inherits information from person like bank account, civil status. That is because person is the base entity of driver. Now with parameter, you could see the fact that between driver and parameter there is a relationship. In this situation it's parameter has parameter, and that's because in a car insurance application certain parameters are used to calculate the premiums. We look at parameter, you can see the various features or attributes that it has. So that's the domain. I'll now like to show you a flow. Now flow is a application flow, and you can see within this that this flow is made up of pages and subflows. You can also have services on a flow. So you can see within this flow you start off with this page, driver data. An end user would fill out the information on this page, and according to what they fill out, logic is used to actually either show them if a car model is selected, then it would go straight to car data. If it's not selected, it would go to a subflow load cars, where a series of car models would be loaded, and then you'd be redirected to car data. After you filled out the information in car data, another piece of logic is used. If you're accepted as a customer, you'll be shown at page insurance accepted. If you're not, then you'll be shown insurance rejected. So that's the process flow for the car quote. So if I go back to the ribbon, now I'd like to show you a page. So if we go to driver data, which is the first page in our flow, you can see that this page is actually made up of 4 different containers, and this container in particular is called driver, and these containers can be reused. A container has several different features and capabilities. So for example, you can give it a precondition and give it a piece of logic, so to show whether to actually determine whether this container should be shown or not on the page. You can also make the container read-only or give it a certain format. You can also, within the attributes, have certain pieces of features like the precondition, the read-only, but there's also certain other ones, like you can actually make a attribute a required field. You can also determine the display length, change the format, and give it a refresh to determine a piece of logic on a precondition. You can also have, with this container, a button. So this button next would actually take you to the next step or page in the process. So that's pages. I'd now like to show you the logic, and within Aquima you can actually display logic in several different ways. So you can have expressions, business rules, decision tables, decision trees. I'm going to first off show you an expression. So this expression, once it opens up, you can see that this expression is a simple expression where there's some additional coverage added up to make a total. If I try and edit this expression, you can see at the top the ribbon changes, very much like something like Microsoft Excel. You have a function library, and you can see that there are many different functions that could be used within Aquima to build very powerful expressions. So you have mathematical functions, also have logical, statistical, so it has many different many different types of functions that can be used within expressions to build very powerful expressions within Aquima. So that's expressions. I'd now like to show you a decision table. A decision table is a graphical way to show business logic. So in this specific decision table, you can see that it has 3 different conditions that result in a goal attribute, and it works top down. So you'd first off go to the first condition, which is driver age. This condition has a series of alternatives. So once you've answered driver age, if that answer is less than the minimum of a regular age of a driver, you'll be given the result young driver. If it's greater than the maximum, then you'll be given the result old driver. And if it's everything else, you go down to the second condition, which is whether the driver has been disqualified. If that is true, then you'll be given the result driver disqualified. Everything else, you move on to the third condition, which is driver car use. If the result of that condition is business, then you'll be given the result car use. If it is anything else, you're accepted as a customer. So that's how a decision table works. It's in a graphical way, and it's not mixed up with code, so it's easy for business analysts or someone who's not so technical to understand it and also make changes. Next off, I'd like to show you a document. Documents in Aquima use the domain and logic that are used the same way in pages, so it's reusable. And so if you make a page with a certain piece of logic, you can reuse it directly onto a document. This specific document is a car quote, so once you've actually accepted as a customer, you can actually download your quote document straight away, and you can actually see that this specific document is a series of calculations. So it calculates standard premium, comprehensive premium, additional passengers, etc. And you'll see in the next video how this actually looks. and how it actually, the format actually shows on screen. So that's a document. Now I'd actually like to show you service call, which is our final feature. Now service calls are actually a way of communicating with databases and servers, so Aquima can actually integrate seamlessly within a organization, and it can actually exchange information. There are several different types of service calls, and they can all be used to communicate with databases and servers. So that's Aquima Studio. If you go to part 2, I'll show you how this application looks in Aquima Interactions.